Module 2, Objective 11, discuss the various kinds of glands in the skin, including sebaceous, apocrine, and merocrine, and list the secretions and the purpose of those products. Exocrine glands of the skin. First off, just to be reminded, exocrine glands can be compared to endocrine glands, and exocrine glands all have a duct that carries their product to the surface of an epithelial. So if a duct exists, then we have exocrine. Within the skin, we have several types of glands. The first one is sebaceous glands. Sebaceous glands are oil glands. These secrete via the holocrine method of secretion, in which the product accumulates in the cell and the cell dissolves or dies, releasing the product into the ductwork. And the product that is discharged from sebaceous glands is a secretion called sebum. Sebum is released into hair follicles, and this is going to lubricate and protect the hair shaft, as well as inhibit any bacterial growth. The other type of gland that we're going to find are the sweat glands, and we have two types of sweat glands. We have the apocrine and the ecrine sweat glands. In terms of sebaceous glands, we have simple branched alveolar glands that are associated directly with the hair follicles. We'll see a picture of that in a minute. And we're also going to have sebaceous follicles. These are large sebaceous glands that aren't associated with hair, but secrete or discharge sebum directly onto the surface of the skin. We have a lot of sebaceous follicles on our face, the back, the chest, the nipples, as well as the external genitalia. Here we see both the sebaceous gland associated with the hair follicle. We can see the gland right here, and the duct of this particular gland directs the sebum directly into the hair follicle so that it can coat the hair as the hair grows. And then finally the sebaceous follicle right here, which secretes its product directly to the surface of the skin. And again, both of these secrete an oily substance called sebum. Apocrine sweat glands are found in the armpits, around the nipples, and in the pubic regions. These secrete products into the hair follicles via merocrine secretion. Remember, merocrine is just simple exocytosis. And the product of apocrine sweat is a really cloudy, sticky secretion that is nutrient rich. It's a great source for bacteria, and this gives rise to body odors. Apocrine sweat glands are surrounded by the myoepithelial cells, and these cells help squeeze secretions out of the glands in response to both hormonal and nervous signals. Sometimes when folks get nervous, they tend to sweat in the armpits, and that's due to these myoepithelial cells that squeeze the secretions out of the glands onto the surface of the skin or into the hair follicle. Here we see an image of the apocrine sweat gland down here. And this particular one is associated with a hair follicle. So upon signaling, either again hormonally or through the nervous system, these cells are secreted into the hair follicle. Ecrine sweat, also called merocrine sweat, these are coiled tubular glands that discharge directly onto the surface of the skin. We call this sensible perspiration. These are widely distributed on the body. They're found in high numbers on the palms of our hands and the soles of our feet. And these secretions are 99% water. Any remaining the remaining composition is perhaps salts. The functions, they function to cool. They cool the surface of the body through evaporative cooling. So as the sweat is exuded onto the surface of the skin, it's going to carry with them a certain amount of heat, and through evaporation, that heat is carried away. We also excrete water and electrolytes this way in an attempt to maintain homeostatic balance. Here we have an image of the Exocrine sweat glands. Okay, this is the same image we've seen previously. The Exocrine is right here, and it's going to deliver its product directly onto the surface of the skin. Other integumentary glands, mammary glands, produced milk located within the breast tissue of both men and women. They are more active in women, but there are some mammals who actually produce milk, where the males produce milk. They can anyway. Ceruminous glands are found in the ear canal, and it produces a product called cerumen, which is ear wax. The function of ear wax is to line the auditory canal with a sticky substance, so that if anything gets in the ear, it gets stuck in that earwax. And as new earwax is formed, here's your ear, as new earwax is formed, old wax is then pushed out. And if that old wax has debris that had entered into the ear canal, it's simply lost that way. So it's very much protective. The control of glands. Our glands are largely controlled through the autonomic nervous system. You don't have any frame of reference to that term yet. It's something that's covered at the end of the semester. But the autonomic nervous system operates outside of our conscious control. So we cannot control our sweat glands. I can't sweat on demand. It is controlled through the autonomic, which is, I always think of automatic. It's something that we have no voluntary control over. But the autonomic controls both sebaceous and apocrine sweat glands. It's going to affect glands throughout the body all at once. Exocrine sweat glands are controlled precisely, so sweating can occur locally. And then thermoregulation. Our sensible perspiration, or merocrine perspiration, is used to thermoregulate. Okay, and exocrine sweat glands work with cardiovascular system to regulate body temperature.